Games is finished. Fucking terrible again. Just nothing going forward whatsoever. Barnes needs to be dropped. Fucking absolute dog shit. Need to get Rodriguez back in. I'd even drop Wood for Vidra at this point. Even for his last 8 minutes, he made a little run in behind. Just looked a lot more dangerous. McNeil and Brady, passengers. Westwood and Brownhill did fuck all. Brownhill looks a bloody shadow of what he did last season. Loughton, no good. I mean, we kept the clean sheet, fair enough, but Loughton, I mean, he's just no pace. He just looks well out of it now. Really need to get a right back in January. Need to be looking at wings. Need to get this investment, really. Just look like we're doomed, to be honest. Good to see Ben Mee back, had a solid game. Taylor looked fucking brilliant. Pope back to his normal self. But yeah, we're not creating anything. Need to get a bit more going forward. Crap, shit point. Weekend ruined again.
Right, lads. Do you know what I think it is? If I was a defender tonight, I'd be furious with the other players on that team because they were the only ones who did a job tonight. Going forward, we just looked devout of any option. It's one pass forward, 12 passes backwards. You know, at one point in the game, there was a flick on one by Wood, you know, and we won this. We won the second ball, which is great because we haven't been winning much the second ball. But then it just goes back to Tyler Taylor again. It's just like, what's the point? Like, and then Barnes gets himself in the box, which Barnes is frustrating the crap out of me at the moment because, like, anytime he just gets anywhere near the ball, he's just throwing himself on the ground. But he does something for once. He gets the ball, he holds it up. There's no one there connecting with him. McNeil is the closest person to him, and he's miles away from him. So why isn't Wood linking up with him as well as he should do? You know, Wood should be winning the knockdowns from Barnes as much as Barnes should be winning the knockdowns from Wood if we're going to play that system. You know, if we're playing another system, we should have Vidra winning off Wood or Vidra, you know, that's how strikers should work, you know. And then he brings on Rodriguez. Fair enough, great change. Too late in the game. Gives Vidra 8 minutes in the game to make a difference. Well, what's 8 minutes going to make in a difference? Like, it's ridiculous. He comes on for the first time he comes on, he runs behind the defence. It shows what you can do when you actually bring someone on who can change the game like that. No one around him to play off the second ball. You know, I don't know what we're training our strikers to do at the moment, but they don't seem to be winning that second ball off each other, playing off each other, and actually doing anything with the ball. The only person, it says a lot when the only person who had a decent chance for us tonight is our right back. It's pathetic, is that? You know, we need to stop this negative tactics. We need to actually, whatever we're doing on the training ground, start learning how to win the ball, win that second ball again, because at the moment we just look devout of anything other than sitting in our box and just waiting for them to score at the moment, you know. And I'd only pay the back five at the moment, which is the goalkeeper and the back four. That's the only people I'd be paying in that squad right now. So that's me.
Hard to watch that game, to be fair. We look more comfortable at the back. It's good to see Ben Mee come back in, and it was good to see him sliding in with hard challenges straight away. I thought first half, Tarky looked off. He just looked well off. And then you saw him go off at half time, sort of carrying his back. So whether he's been sort of playing with a bit of an injury or what, I don't know. But he improved a bit in the second half anyway. Popey was all right, although his distribution was a bit off. Just lack of chances. It's the theme this season, just lack of chances. Barnes, I think I've said it every post-match so far, but he just doesn't look fit. He just looks well off. Puts himself about, but he's sort of done by 50 minutes. He's finished. He's got an empty tank. So hopefully that's Chase starting again. Although he struggled a little bit to get into the game today, I thought. Having said that, so did Chris Wood. Wood was anonymous second half. So rightly got taken off for Vids, although I thought that was a bit too late. I think it probably should have been done a bit earlier. Decent enough performance, but the lack of goals is just going to cost us big time this season. I think there's already a pattern. As I say, it's not that the chances have been flowing and it's just not going in. The chances aren't even being created. Crosses are just being sort of floated in. I thought Dwight McNeil played the wrong ball every time this match. Feels a little bit like there's restraints are on. Like it seems that whether it's coming from Dyche or whether it's coming from the players themselves, it just feels like the sort of thinking is that it's the sole responsibility of the strikers to score goals. No one seems to be willing to sort of push on and have a pop and maybe think, well, if they're not scoring, I'll do it, you know. There's only Vidra who really ran at the defence. The rest of it was sort of playing it about and trying to get a sort of, as I say, a floated crossing. It just wasn't working. So something's going to have to change up front. I think there needs to be a bit more of a direct. But I don't know why Brighton made a change. They took off a defender and brought on a striker. I'd like to see Dyche try and do that. I know, you know, you've got to be cautious, but Dyche's was 2 strikers off, 2 strikers on. So why not just try and, you know, take a defensive player off and push another striker on and try and go for the win instead of just being comfortable with what we're doing. So solid at the back. We look more comfortable at the back. It's so good to see Ben Mee back, as I've said. But something's got to change up front because that is going to cost us this season. International break now, so let's hope that when we come back, the season kick starts, because at the minute it's not really working. Up the Clarets. I still think we'll be all right. I'm not worried just yet, but we'll see what happens after the international break.
Hey Clarets, an American Claret here. Different perspective on the game today against Brighton. Man, it was tough. I mean, we have no creativity whatsoever on the front line this season. It seems like we're just not getting the ball in the box. I mean, simple as that. If it isn't for our defense, our back line, and Nick Pope today, we lose, and I think we lose bad. It's pretty bad. Our best chance of the game was an attempted cross by Lowton, and it hits the bar. I mean, that was our best chance of the whole game. After the break, I think we got to change something up top. I think J-Rod's got to come on. I think J-Rod's got to start, and I think Vidra needs more looks. I mean, we have 2 points through 7 games. We've scored 3 goals. That's just not going to keep us up. We got to start scoring goals, creating chances, and if we don't, it's going to be a tough season, and it's tough already. But I mean, we've been in this situation before, and this year just seems different. I don't know why. A couple years ago, we had, I don't know, more creativity, that's for sure, but man, we just need to start scoring goals, and soon. Up the Clarets.
A point's a point. A lot better performance than when we played against Chelsea. I thought defence were outstanding, organised. Ben Mee was absolutely fantastic for me. Man of the match, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm sure the rest of you will agree. We're just missing that bit of something, that spark to get us going again. I think we're going to get there. You know, I've still got confidence in Dash that we can get there. It just needs to get this team selection right. Still not playing Jay, still not starting Jay and Vids, and for me they've got to start. But we've got to drop Buds and Barnes for me. They've got to be dropped. They're not showing anything, you know, the movements or like luster. Buds offside too many times. Barnes, you know, it's too predictable up at air, and then when he don't win it, he's whinging to the referee constantly that he's been fouled instead of just getting on with it. I think them two is just lacking confidence. Dash needs to get them, you know, Dash needs to get more confidence in them. But for me personally, I'd give him a break, rest them, bring Jay and Vids in, maybe pack the midfield a bit more. I think we're missing Jack Court big time. I don't know what your thoughts are, fella Clarets, but for me, I think we're missing Jack Court big time. Maybe play mid 5 in the midfield, pack the midfield a bit more and get them up higher the pitch. Support the top two a bit more. McNeil, is it with an option of playing McNeil behind Jay and Vids and give him a bit of a free role? And he's been ineffective again tonight. Not a bad game, not one of his worst games, I must agree, but not one of his best games either. But just too ineffective, and we know what he can do. I think again, it's just I think that confidence again. But hey, we've been in this position before, and I'm sure we can get out of it again. Palace up next, tough one. It's at home, but again, no crowd. But we've got to get a win from somewhere. No goals in 4, major concern. We've only a couple of shots on target in them 4 games, so that's a big concern. I think defence, with nothing to worry about. We've got one of the best 3 keepers in the country for me, and we've got the best English parent centre half in Torts and me. And either England squad, it's fucking beyond me. It's clueless Southgate. Charlie Taylor's probably should be in there with a shout as well. Matty Lawton's had an extremely good game tonight. First half, we're brilliant. Defended well and looked to get forward at full-back, at wing-back. So, yeah, defence, I don't think we like to worry about. Midfield and going, it's just that final third. We can get that. If Dash can work on that and we can get that right, I think we're going to get out of trouble. I'm confident we'll get out of trouble. Confident we're not going to go down. I think there's still. So I think Fulham, West Brom are definitely down there. I think Fulham will be down there. Sheffield United, I think, will struggle. And I think we'll get out of it. I think we'll be all right. It's not panic stations yet. Still 7 games in. Yeah, we've not had a win, 2 draws, 5 defeats and not many goals. But let's not press the panic stations just yet. Dash he's done it before. Confident he can do it again. But anyway, onwards and upwards, fella Clarets. Bring on the Palace. All have a good weekend. Good night.
Christ, that were a snooze fest, weren't it? Bloody hell. That was the longest 90 minutes of my life. I'm telling you, I've not seen us play that negatively for a long, long time. There were just nothing going forward, nothing in the midfield. Our only saving grace tonight was Ben Mee being back. He made us actually look somewhat solid, and for once I didn't feel worried at any, out of the thousands of attacks Brighton had, I didn't think one would ever get past tonight, because Ben Mee was just unbelievable. He really does make the back 4 for us, and for as long as we can keep him fit, it gives us the best fighting chance whatsoever. But what worries me more than anything is I think that 0-0 draw against Brighton, that currently is our levels of where we're at. That's where we're at. We're happy with the 0-0 against Brighton, and for me, I'm not interested in that. That don't excite me. That I don't want to get behind football that is happy getting a 0-0. Against Brighton, we should be beating them. Today they didn't offer anything going forward. Really, they didn't offer much. But on the flip side, neither do we. We're really struggling going forward and being creative and getting the ball through the thirds and up to the front men. We just don't know what we're doing in that final third. We can win the ball back at the back. We can ump it long. Wood tries to bring it down, but then someone picks it up in midfield and then ends up just sending it back to the defence, or playing a long ball that ends in nothing and gives it to them. So I say it's worrying. It's worrying times watching performances like that, and for as long as Dash keeps picking that team and playing that style of football, I think we're going to be in for a tough long season. But just got to keep the faith. He's got us through situations like this before, but hopefully he can do it again, because we need him. We need Dash. We need players like me. We need our goal scorers to start scoring soon, or else we're going to be struggling.
I'd like to welcome Ben Mee back to the squad. Was a massive addition yesterday. Looked very, very solid with him in it. Much more controlled. Overall, like I say, solid at the back. Powdered up front. Something needs to change. I, along with a lot of other people, a lot of fans I've seen on socials and stuff, I agree with that. It's got to be Ashley Barnes, unfortunately. I just don't think he brings what we need anymore up front. We need more dynamicism. Don't try and saying that. We need something better. Yeah, and I think J-Rob brings that. he's been a great servant for us as Mr. Barnes, but I think impacting from the bench would be a better option from him. We need something different, a different brain up front, and I think Jay fits that better alongside Chris Wood. I know a lot of wanting Chris Wood dropped, but I think you put J Rod at the side of him, he's a different animal, and he has been our top scorer over the past few seasons. There's a reason for that. It's because he's probably one of our best finishers. Midfield got slightly overrun until J Rod came on. I know he kept dropping in that pocket, which strengthened it a little bit. And Vid's coming on for 8 minutes. Come on, Sean. No player can do anything in that kind of time, right at the end of a game. You're asking for a lot. He needs to come on earlier. It's like I said in the last video, change. We can see it. I don't see how they can't see it off the bench, but they're the manager at the end of the day. We just have to try and support them as best we can. We move on to the next. Up the Clarets.